Hi guys, thanks for joining me. This is your weekly horoscope for Monday the 15th of April going through until Sunday the 21st of April 2019. We've got Good Friday on the 19th of April. We've got Easter Sunday on the 21st of April. And what I'm going to do as always is give you a rundown of what's happening each day this week and how the planets interact with each other and what energy that creates for you and how you can make the best of that. Now, these horoscopes are for all signs of the zodiac. They're for everyone who watches and they're based on UK time. And I've had a look at the energy and it's really very interesting because we've got a juxtaposition between feelings of rage and conflict and full moon in Libra, which is all about compromise and being charming and friendly and likable. And what I also think is a little bit on the nose is that this is happening during the Easter week where we have a crucifixion and a resurrection. So it just so happens that the planets and their energy are really kind of echoing this Christian holiday, and I'm going to give you a rundown of this week to just show you what's happening and when. So let's start with Monday the 15th. We've got the moon going into Virgo at 10:15 in the morning. That makes you analytical and focused on logic and reason. Venus is in Pisces and that squares Jupiter in Sagittarius. So Venus is the planet of love and beauty. It's very much in the realms of fantasy and self-sacrifice and beauty. Jupiter says good luck happens when you move forward. So there's friction between those two. The Virgo moon trines Uranus and Taurus. So they work well together. Uranus is the planet of chaos. It's in an earth sign. The earth sign of Taurus, which is money, belongings, physical environment, and the Virgo moon wants to create order and put things in line there. So there's a lot of energy floating around on Monday. So it's a great way to start the week with you being very focused on analysis, detail, and getting things lined up and organized. So you're ready to get rid of all the paperwork. You're lining things up, you're not interested in being distracted, and you're focused on creating a solid foundation, tying up loose ends, and really creating a stable start to the week and having everything in its place so that you feel good about where you're at and that everything has been taken care of. There are no loose ends, the emails have been answered, and you just want that over with. So that being said is understandable, but if someone then comes into your day and totally distracts you and pulls you away from that, so for instance your friend calls you and says, oh, I just cut myself cutting food in the kitchen and I really need you to take me to hospital because I don't have a car. That kind of thing isn't going to fill you with sympathy and, oh, my poor friend. You're going to be irritated by that. So try and take a breath. Don't be as uptight as you want to be, because Virgo can be very uptight and it can be focused on getting everything in place, and that's the most important thing. Try and think that, you know, this isn't the last day of your life. There are other days in which you can get things organized and it doesn't all have to be finished today. On Tuesday, the 16th of April, Mercury, the communication planet, which rules Virgo, moves into Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, which is the ram, which is a fire sign, and it bulldozes its way through obstacles. So communication becomes very, very direct and very powerful today. The Virgo moon opposes Venus in Pisces. So logic and reason beats love and forgiveness. And the Virgo moon also trines the big boys, Saturn and Pluto, in the sign of the worker, Capricorn. So the Virgo moon and Saturn, the head teacher of the chart, and Pluto, transformation, all say, Let's get our facts together, let's build something, and let's make changes that are helpful in a practical sense. And all these conversations about love and forgiveness, who cares? We're working here. So on Tuesday, your demanding nature and your dislike for distractions becomes even stronger. You don't have time for harebrained schemes. Your patience is wearing super thin, wafer thin. You want to make changes and you'll be aggressive about making them. You forget the social niceties, and it's important on Tuesday to remember that you do get more with honey than with vinegar. Monday and Tuesday are days where you're totally uninhibited when it comes to speaking your truth. If you're in a situation which is really negative and you've struggled to get out of that situation, if you're in a relationship that's emotionally abusive or even physically abusive, or if you're in a job where you're totally being exploited, or if you're rationalizing something that just makes no sense and you're harming yourself by rationalizing a certain behavior that you think you need to feel good, and you know it's wrong, but you just have created this whole denial dialogue in your own head. This is the day to really clear those out and to say, I'm not going to be treated this way anymore. I'm not going to do this to myself anymore. I don't want to hear what you have to say anymore. Don't put your files on my desk. I'm not doing your work. That is your job. So if you're not assertive and if you struggle with really speaking your truth, Monday and Tuesday are your best friends. On Wednesday the 17th, we've got the moon going into Libra at 11:23 in the morning. So now the moon becomes much more compromising and much more interested in building bridges with other people. The Libra moon forms a harmonious relationship with Mars and Gemini, so the male principle in the sign of communication. And it opposes, so it's 180 degrees away from Mercury in Aries and Chiron in Aries. So an aggressive way of speaking and really the potential to wound people through what it is you say. We've all had someone say something to us that's stuck for decades. So maybe someone told you when you were younger that you're not good enough. And now 30 years later, you still hear that echoing in your head. Don't be the person who does that to someone else. Be aware of that, and there's no need for it, really. You can make changes by asserting yourself, but you don't need to get personal, and you can just say, this doesn't work for me anymore. So on Wednesday, the moon takes the sting out of this ultra direct communication mode that you've been in, and it prevents you from verbally eviscerating your opponents or your employees or friends or family just because they've done something wrong. So from Wednesday onwards, you don't have to work so hard to keep your temper under control, to keep your sense of impatience under control, your irritability. You're just not as irascible from Wednesday onwards through until Saturday. You chill, you calm down naturally. So if everything's hunky-dory in your life, then really be aware of Monday and Tuesday. But if things aren't hunky-dory, then use that as your advantage and really punch the things out that need punching out in your life. The negative relationships, the people who think you're a joke, and the people who think they can use you as a doormat. On Thursday, the 18th of April, the Libra moon trines Mars in Gemini. So again, great communication. And it sextiles Jupiter in Sagittarius. Good luck when you move forward. So Thursday is the best day of the week to work with others and to be productive. Do the things that you can't do alone today on Thursday, the 18th of April. The things that you can do by yourself, Monday, Tuesday, and Sunday. On Friday the 19th of April, we have the full moon in Libra taking place at 11:13 in the morning. And this is the second full moon in Libra that we've got this year. Really, really interesting because you get a do-over in your relationships as a result of this full moon. I'll make a separate video on that. If you're interested in the exact details, have a look at that video. But it's so interesting that we've got this huge juxtaposition this week between really being charming and magnetically beautiful so that people are drawn to you versus really being hard and harsh and even cruel. So it's totally black and white. It's totally left or right. Very polarizing week. The moon moves into Scorpio at 12:42 p.m, so an hour and a half after the full moon. Mercury is in Aries and it conjuncts Chiron in Aries, so those two are sitting together. The Scorpio moon opposes the sun in Aries and Uranus in Taurus. So the full moon allows you to build bridges with others and to work well with them. The other planets continue to create this undercurrent of intolerance, impatience, this kind of inappropriate projection of your pain onto other people and blaming other people for your problems. So continue to be careful in dealing with others. So as on Wednesday, the Libra energy does soften your fury and your dislike towards people who you see as enemies or people you see as wanting to harm you. And you don't need to work so hard to keep that in check. So the full moon particularly makes this a day to work with others. Thursday and Friday, those are the best. And you see people in the most positive way on Thursday and Friday. On Saturday the 20th of April, the sun moves into Taurus at 8:56 in the morning, so happy birthday Taurus. Venus, the planet of love, moves into Aries. So the planet of love moves into war. Again, juxtaposition. The Scorpio moon, which is about getting to the emotional truth of things, that sextiles Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn. So the Scorpio moon wants to build on emotional, authentic, real truths that you discover. So first of all, with the sun moving into Taurus, we've now got a month ahead, which really allows you to build and to make physical changes and to look at your finances and to adjust things in your physical, practical life so that you prefer them. You can tweak things to your liking. You can manifest your hopes and dreams. Because Venus moves into Aries, your resentments, dislikes, and rage will come again, but we no longer have the moon in Libra mitigating that energy. So the negative feelings will come up again and they'll want an outlet. So use it again to destroy things or to let go of things that don't serve you. It could be an addiction. It could be a negative relationship. And use it to end the things that are harming you. But you've got to find an outlet. Maybe if you go to the gym and you get one of those punching bags and you just have a go at that. But there is rage here in the week, and when we've got rage, you can't just put that under the carpet. It starts it's like a Tasmanian devil. You'll see it moving around under the carpet. You just can't brush it under there. It won't stay there. So when you really do feel rage, you've got to do something about it. And rage and anger are useful emotions for change. That's what they're there for. They allow you, or they force you to really get rid of situations which are causing you pain. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the love for other people and the personal pain that we've experienced via other people, and how can we create a balance between those two things. We can only create a balance when we let go of the rage that we feel, and we try and even things out. And you can do that by attacking the other person who harmed you and feeling vindicated and justified, or you can forgive that other person and let it go. Forgiving is much better than taking revenge, because then obviously you get yourself into trouble, and revenge is just a tennis ball. It just bounces back and forth. Once you take revenge, they take revenge back, and it just goes on and on and on and on and on. Good thing to let go of resentment is to put people that you despise up on a stage, and you surround them in golden light, and you pray for everything wonderful to happen for them, so that they have a happy, wonderful life, that they get everything they want. And if you can't do that, then ask for the willingness to be able to do that. And what I do is I put them on a stage and I pray for the people that I resent, and after a while, it usually doesn't take very long, one day, sometimes I pray one day and they walk off into the wings and it's gone. Sometimes it takes 3 days and they walk off into the wings. The longest it's ever taken me is 3 days, and that's gone. So try that technique. It's really helpful. It's really helpful. And just because you let go of a resentment as well doesn't mean that it's gone forever. It can come back anytime. So don't feel like I already dealt with this. Something can trigger you off and the resentment is back. So they can walk out of the wings again and reappear in your life too. So don't blame yourself if you're like, I thought I dealt with this and now it's back. Am I a bad, angry person? No, you're not. It's natural. We have a memory. Sunday, the 21st of April. We've got Easter Sunday, and the moon goes into Sagittarius at 4 in the afternoon. That means we're now looking ahead, we're looking at the future, and the moon is aligned with the good luck planet Jupiter. So the Sagittarius moon also trines Venus in Aries, so it forms a harmonious relationship with the planet of love and beauty in Aries. Mercury is in Aries too, and so is Chiron. So, Sunday, we're back to anger. You're focused on working and realizing your life purpose and devoting yourself to passion projects. Anyone who comes and distracts you, or who opposes you, or who's in your way, will be blasted out of the way. You'll make a lot of headway today. So work hard at what you love, and you will marvel at the results. Just be careful that you only, get rid of the people who you really want to get rid of, and that you don't casually, by mistake, offend the one person who's always had your back for the last decade. And that's why this is difficult sometimes and tricky to manage. And that's why anger is always to be kind of enjoyed with caution, because once you've said it, you can't take it back. Once you say, I've always despised that about you, you can't unsay it. And then, takes a whole lot of time to rebuild that kind of trust and to rebuild the love that you have between you and someone else. Sometimes when things get really ugly, you cross a line and you can never go back to the way it was. That's why certain romantic relationships, when in the beginning it's all happy and love and you see the beautiful things, and then you have these discussions and you hear the other person talking in a way that's just so beyond the line of what is okay and what is even loving and kind, and they're way over here. You can't you can't rebuild that. Very rarely. But it will then take years to rebuild that, and most often, once it's been said for a reason, it's a truth. So, if you've got loads of skeletons knocking around in your closet, watch out for Monday, Tuesday, and Sunday. And try and free yourself of dishonesty in your life, and really dishonest relationships, and people you just humor but despise. Why waste your time on that? And in the middle of the week, really look at building positive relationships with people who are going through the same thing, but are trying to be constructive, and who want to forgive, and who don't lose their rag over some little thing, and who grow up a little bit and say, yes, resentment is a normal part of life, but I'm not going to take revenge on everyone and anyone who's ever harmed me, because then I'll just spend my life on the warpath, and I don't want to be on the warpath. I choose peace and love, as corny as that sounds. It's very, like I said, it's very on the nose with Easter and Easter Sunday, and what that holiday represents. Because what? Jesus was crucified on the Friday. He rose up on the Sunday. He could have gone around and spoken to those people who put him up on the cross, and had a word with those people, and resolved his anger issues. He didn't do that. So, God, I never thought that I would say, what would Jesus do, in one of my astrological reports. I remember when I was at school, it was very trendy for, I grew up in South Africa, so fundamentalist Christian, and it was very trendy for kids who'd been reborn and saved to wear bracelets with WWJD, what would Jesus do? So yes, it can be overdone, and we know that religion has caused horrible, terrible things, but the actual persona of Jesus is a good example of how to forgive and not get into mudslinging. I mean, that's an understatement. But really to be the bigger person, and to take the high road, and to use anger to destroy things that need to be destroyed. So timing is important here this week. And if you're gonna fire a shot, make sure you hit the right target, and make sure your aim is on point. So have a good week. I hope you have a really productive week. I hope it's really, you build new relationships that are super helpful to you. I hope you liberate yourself of situations which are horrific for you. And I really hope that you find some balance as a result of this week. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the readings tab to audio reading. In my personal readings, I use astrology, tarot, and numerology. The astrology chart I draw up by using your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. If you don't know your time of birth, order a rectification with me. I can work out your time of birth. There's a process to do that. Once I have the chart in front of me, I really see everything about you. Your life purpose, what your vocational aptitudes are, what's destined for you in certain areas of your life, money and relationships, love, children, travel, and also what your strengths and weaknesses are, and where you can change your destiny and what you can work on. So personal development, spiritual development, making choices that go against your nature, and really changing things and manifesting the things that you want in your life, rather than just putting up with what's presented to you. So I hope you have a fabulous week. If you would like a reading, then do get in touch via the website gregoryscott.com. And I will speak to you for the daily tarot readings, the weekly horoscopes, the monthly horoscopes for each sign of the zodiac, and the yearly horoscopes for each sign of the zodiac. Have a great week, and I'll speak to you soon.